Hello, and thanks for joining me at IT Home Lab Online. In this video, we're going to install Ubuntu Desktop 26.04 that was just released only a couple of days ago, and then we'll have a quick look at LibreOffice, the free open source Office suite that comes bundled with it. By the end of this video, you'll have a full working Ubuntu Desktop up and running and a good sense of whether LibreOffice could replace Microsoft Office for you in your day-to-day home use. I'm going to be installing this on my regular Proxmox machine, which is a Dell Latitude 5411, 32 gig of RAM, which you probably recognize from my previous videos. Now, let's get started. Before we jump in, it's worth talking about why Ubuntu 26.04. This is the latest LTS release, which means it's a long-term support, giving us 5 years of security patches and updates, which basically means it's going to last us a while. The LTS releases come out every couple of years. The latest one was only released 2 days ago, and this is perfect for a home lab. It's stable, it's got long support window, you're not chasing updates every 6 months. This release also ships with the latest Linux kernel, which gives you broader hardware support, and the latest GNOME desktop, which is noticeably smoother and has much better power efficiency overall. If you want to install this on bare metal, you can, rather than installing it on VM. If you're going to do that, I'd recommend using Ventoy to create your bootable USB. I've got a video linked in the description below for that. But for this video, I'm going to be installing it directly from the ISO on Proxmox. So first, what we need to do is we need to go to Ubuntu's website. And you can see here they'll have all of the details on the new release. So we're going to download desktop for this. And it's about 6 gigs, so it will take a little while. You don't need to sign up for the newsletter. You'll see that it's started over here. And it says it's going to take an hour. We'll just see how it goes. I have already downloaded it, so I might switch to my downloaded version. This is obviously based on your internet speed. So I'll pause the video there and I will copy my existing download just to save us a little bit of time. Okay, so I've copied it to my Ventoy USB. So I'll now go into the Proxmox server, go to the storage, ISO, tell it to upload the file. Now this will take a little while as well, so I will pause the video here and then I'll resume once it's uploaded. Okay, so now you can see that the file is finished uploading, so we'll create a new virtual machine. We'll give it a name. And we're going to call this one Ubuntu 26.04. ISO image, we'll select from here. Okay, change it to Q35. We can leave it the BIOS on CBIOS. Now, normally for a server, Ubuntu server installation, I do somewhere between 32 and 50 gig, depending on what the purpose of it was. I'm going to give this one 64 gig, just a little bit more, just because of the overhead required by the updates. I'll give it just a couple of cores CPU for now. There's no specific purpose for this. Memory for the desktop environment, you want to give it at least 4 gig of RAM. I'm going to give it 6 gig. 8 gigs probably a little bit excessive, given that I don't have it, as I said, I don't have a purpose for it as yet. This should let it run comfortably though. I'll leave the network as it is. Click finish. Okay. Virtual machine is completed. So I'll start it up, connect to the console. Now when you do a desktop installation, it's a little bit different to a server installation where you actually boot into the live desktop first. Okay. Now if you were testing or installing this on bare metal, you'd now have the opportunity to test out your hardware, make sure your hardware is going to work. I'm going to leave the language for English. I'm not going to set up any accessibility, but you can certainly do that at this point here. Keep it as English US keyboard. I'm going to use a wired connection. Again, if you were doing it on bare metal, you could connect to your Wi-Fi device and you can test out and make sure that hardware is going to work before doing the installation. So I'm just going to skip over this step and go to try Ubuntu, just so I can show you what sort of things you can do. So this is the full-blown install with LibreOffice installed, as you can see there. And you can test your hardware, you can add drivers, that sort of thing, before you commit to actually installing. So I'm ready to install. I'll do an interactive install. You do have the option of setting up answer files effectively, and you can install with those later, but I'm going to do the interactive. Now, this option here gives you the choice of doing the default selection, which is just the simplest things, as it says here, the essentials, the web browser basics. If you do the extended version, this gives you things like the Office, LibreOffice tools, and other things as well. So for this particular exercise, I'll do the extended. I don't have any third-party drivers or anything installed or required. This is in a Proxmox machine, so it's all already supported. But if you were doing this on bare metal, you could certainly install those now. This is a fresh disk, so I'm going to do an erase. I'm not going to set any encryption. Again, this is for a home lab. If you're doing this on bare metal and on a laptop that you're carrying around with you, you might want to set some encryption on it. Just be wary though that you do need to record your encryption keys. Without those, you won't be able to recover in a disaster. Okay, so I'm just going to set up some generic credentials. and I'll call it I like to set my computer names or host names to the same as what I've used as the Proxmox name. Set a password, make sure it matches, and you can choose whether you want to have a passwordless login or not. Okay, now select the region for your time zone. I'm in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, so that's correct. And click install. I'll fast forward through this section. Okay, that's completed. We'll do a restart. Hit enter. Okay, so now we can sign in as a user that we created with the password. Hit next. Now before I get through all of this, because it does try to do its own update, and I like to control my own updates, so what I'll do is I will open a terminal. And I'll do a sudo apt update. And all updates are up to date, so I don't have to go any further than that. If there were updates available, I'd do a sudo apt distribution upgrade and a yes to all, and then that will go through and update all of the files for me. Now, because this is a home lab and it's running on Proxmox, I don't want to turn on location services. And again, it's a home lab. I don't particularly want to share anything. It's not going to be used in a standard type environment. Choose your theme. And from here, you can open the App Center and start to install your apps, or you can do that later. So I'll just say finish. So you can see there's a few things pinned on the side here. That's the installer, so we can remove that through Proxmox. There's the App Center there. This is the LibreOffice Writer, which is their equivalent to Word, I guess, a word processor. I'll just leave everything as default for now. Similar to Word, but not the same. but you've got similar sort of functionality. So for home use, not overly complex documents and those sort of things, and it's a great tool. Next, we'll have a quick look at Calc, which is the spreadsheet application. I believe it does support XLSX files, so it does have compatibility or saving compatibility files to Office and Excel. However, it does not have all of the functionality that Excel does. So if you're just looking for something simple to use at home, this could be a great choice. But if you do require the advanced functionality, then you will need to install Excel instead. So that's pretty much it for this video. We've got a full Ubuntu 26.04 up and running with full desktop and LibreOffice ready to go. Clean install, no license fees, and support for the next 5 years. So if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.